Welcome back to Grok Talk. Check us out at GreticRock.com, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm supposed to be tweeting, I think, and I haven't been, so. Playing with my new board configuration, I have more things to push and slide and forget about, so we'll see how long that lasts. At some point, I'll screw something up, and it'll be funny.
Yeah, I can see the training wheels on his PC from here.
That's right. And I have all these cables hanging out everywhere, and so anyway, Second Amendment, New Hampshire, Susan Olsen.
They call me Ma Barker.
Ma Barker.
That's right. Which I kind of like, actually. But
it fits.
It does. It does.
It's more like Susie Oakley than Ma Barker.
Now this, technical segue here. While the camera on the coffee can works for Steve, it doesn't work so well for.
Well, you can
here.
tilt it down for Ma Barker, right?
Yeah, so do I need a phone book or something? Actually, we got
to sit Susan on a phone book.
A couple of RSA books.
A couple of
Don't
RSAs.
Slouch.
Don't slouch. I'm not slouching.
How about the budget? Was that big enough?
How about the budget? Oh.
Obamacare. That's about 6 inches worth.
So let's talk about guns.
Let's talk about guns. Yes, this past Thursday in the House, in the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee, it wasn't on the calendar. But Senate Bill 116, which is nicknamed constitutional carry, which is a terrible name for it because it truly is simply a restoration of rights. Mm-hmm. The chair...
Could you call it what Vermont's been doing for years, Bill? Is that...
Well, you could. You certainly could. The chair, they went through the hearing of their first bill rather quickly, and they had time between the second bill that was scheduled. And he says, well, let's go ahead and exec bills in the committee. And the first one up was Senate Bill 116, which came out of the Senate, prime sponsor Jeb Bradley. And the bill restores the rights of all New Hampshire citizens to those that they had prior to 1923. And you were talking earlier about, I forget what, because I get lost easily these days. In New York City, a very corrupt state senator named Timothy Sullivan, who also ran the Irish mobs in New York City, there were a lot of new immigrants coming in, and they were primarily from Italy, and they were challenging Mr. Sullivan's turf and authority in terms of whatever it is that mobs were doing back in those days. It wasn't drugs or anything, but it could have been...
Liquor?
It could have been liquor, probably liquor.
Prostitution, gambling, loan shark.
Maybe all of those.
Protection.
Probably protection more than anything.
Birth control. Yes.
Yeah,
the hard way.
But nevertheless, while in many instances in U.S. history there have been attempts to control the ownership of firearms, this was a pretty smart guy. He says, well, we really can't do that. But we can make sure that the only way, you can certainly own one, but you can't carry it around unless you have a license. So he got a law passed called the Sullivan Act that says, yeah, you can, your Second Amendment's fine. You can own a gun. You can have a loaded firearm, but you can't take it out of your house unless you have a license. And we have to make sure that you're a suitable person. So all of this started back in New York in 1911, the Sullivan Act, and very shortly thereafter, this bill was taken up. This particular law was taken up by a group that sought to develop standardized template laws for other states, so people, going from jurisdiction to jurisdiction didn't have horrible things to overcome. This law got passed around this part of the country fairly quickly, and it landed in New Hampshire in 1923. And it was passed by the New Hampshire Senate, and in it didn't just target Italians, which was Mr. Sullivan's focus. It targeted unnaturalized foreign-born persons. And in New Hampshire, that was Irish and Italians, and it could have been Polish and other folk. But they passed this piece of legislation that says, yeah, we're not impinging on your right to own a firearm, but we get to decide whether you're suitable or not. So what this is almost 100 years of blatant legalized discrimination, ethnic, racial, gender profiling. Call it whatever you want, but it's a discriminatory law that's been on the books and has been twisted by law enforcement and Dems and progressives to say, well, it's, you can own a gun, but, if we don't like you, if you're Irish and you drink, which is one of the things quoted in the documentation at the archives in this 1923 set of hearings, okay? You have raucous behavior and, I'm happy to share it with you.
So Zandra Rice Hawkins of Granite State Progress likes profiling then?
She likes discrimination. Absolutely she does. Okay?
Democrats always like discrimination.
Of course they do. And they fail to...
D for Democrat, D for discrimination.
D for dumbass.
They discriminate between and of all races and minorities.
No, but you can't say that. I mean, this helps us keep firearms out of the hands of people, criminals and felons and crazy people and all. No.
Which in the 1930s, the Democrats would not have been afraid to say out of the hands of black people. Now they're afraid to say that.
Well, they didn't. Black people were already discriminated against, but this was as it said in the headline in the New York Times, the day before the bill was to come into force, that lowbrows were running around buying as many firearms as they could before it became illegal. Not to purchase, not to own, but to carry. So that has followed through, and all of these knuckleheads and this lying chief of police says, no, this keeps firearms out of the hands of bad people, and we need to be able to see who has a gun, and we need to keep police safe, and it's public safety issues.
They keep lists?
Mm-hmm. They do, and oh my goodness, it was just like Christmas this week.
Yes, it was.
Oh. How much fun am I having?
Who were keeping lists?
Not were. Are.
Local?
Are.
Against the law.
Against
illegally.
The law. Yes. We don't need no stinking federal laws. We don't need no stinking state laws because we like the ones we like and we don't like the ones that benefit you. So the chiefs of police, and interestingly enough, the last time the guy showed up, he was not in his little chief uniform.
Oh, he took it off.
He was in he didn't in the hearing.
It was nice of him to have
heard
the message.
He was in civvies. Okay. So
and this
these
person's
guys,
name is
Andrew Shaguri, Shagory, chief of Tufton Borough. Okay, I have a picture if you'd like one.
It's pronounced sugary.
I don't know what it's called, but shenanigans. But this man either is so completely uninformed, and I'm prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't think there's an IQ test for chiefs of police.
I'm pretty sure there isn't.
There could be, but their lobbyists should know better.
Well, they shouldn't be lobbying, period, with our tax dollars.
But they're permitted by law, so that's a whole different story. But, so the chiefs and a lot of the associations, I'm not talking local chiefs, because I think most police are pretty good guys, okay?
Can we get the Milwaukee County Sheriff as our chief of police everywhere here in New Hampshire?
God bless him, yeah. But some of these guys, the chief in Franklin, who sticks around the State House all the time, trying to eliminate our rights, and Chief Shaguri and Stady Haggerty from the Department of Safety. They say, no, this isn't discrimination. No, this isn't profiling. We're the only ones who can say who's suitable or not. Excuse me?
You're the only ones who can say who's suitable, and it's not profiling.
It's not. We all know what that means.
And this is why I'm very much in support of constitutional carry, because I don't want no damn
He's
piece
basically
of paper.
standing at the rope line going, no.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. They're standing at the rope line. So the good news is that the bill came up to be exec, and Chairman Thole, who's the chair of that committee, who actually is a chief of police in Dalton, nice man, talked about the bill. There was an amendment introduced, an unnecessary amendment, but nevertheless it clarified some issues in the bill, where that for those people who choose to have a license, because it's optional now, and as a pistol instructor, I would always have a license because I'm going other places to teach, not just New Hampshire, but places like that. that he explained that this license would be optional, and we clarified in the legislation that we've replaced suitable, okay, with something very crystal clear that says not prohibited by state or federal law, okay? And the federal law is very clear on people who are federally prohibited from owning and possessing a firearm.
We got a minute.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go on after the break. But in any event, what you'll find out is that members of that committee still hate us and still think they're smarter than we are. So we can
It's
talk
a progressive way.
They do think that, yes.
It is. It is. And it's a former chair, too.
Yeah. We are expecting Yvonne Dean Bailey. I haven't gotten confirmation, but I believe she will be here to talk about her election and re-election. And then after that, we have Jody Underwood. And then after that, we have more of this, hopefully.
Yes.
More squirrels.
And
more
whatever else we
armed
can squeeze in.
squirrels.
And what are you pointing at now? The camera's way over there.
Because I can't, until I put you on camera, I can't see where it's aiming. I'll have to put a little,
little
front
flag,
sight.
a
front sight.
A
You need a
sight.
sight on there, yeah. Yeah.
A
Hi.
little Rat Patrol flag.
It's pointing down, though, now, looks like.
No, you're
No?
fine.
I'm good? Okay.
You're
That's
good.
all right. You don't have any cleavage to worry about.
I don't. I really don't. I never have. Anyway, we're going to take a break.
It's pointing down.
It's Grok Talk, brought to you by GraniteGrok.com and the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. And we have Yvonne Dean Bailey hopefully next. If not, we will keep talking about what we're talking about because that's what we do around here. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.